Alright everybody, now that I have my value studies done, it's time to finally start adding color. So now that I've done all this work of smoothing out my values, even though you can see some of them aren't so smooth, I can actually start adding some color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my color render, and you can see I already have my key light, my fill light, my rim light, and my inherent color set up. I even have a smoothing layer because just like you did for the volume, you have to smooth again. That's right. You have to smooth everything out twice in a row. And whatever time you didn't spend in your value smoothing, you're going to have to spend here. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab my inherent color. Actually, I'm going to take my mask from my tonal render and go ahead and put that in my color render. The way I do that is click on it and hold down the Option key, and go up and drag it to my color render folder. Now for some reason it took it off of my tonal render, so I'll just do that again. Yay! So now I can just go ahead and make my inherent color mask white. I'm going to invert my mask there. And there we go. Now it looks like I have one area that I definitely do not want covered. So cut that out real fast. And there you go. And the nice thing about these adjustment layers is I can click on the color and I can experiment with different inherent values. Kind of like that one. Now you may have to create multiple layers, especially if different aspects of your creature are different colors, which they should be considering this is a creature contrast assignment. And you can just go to your adjustment layer button, solid color. I apologize for my dog barking. And color in what parts you need to. Just make sure you set the blending mode to color or overlay. And you can add the different colors where you need it. Now let's pretend all of my inherent color is already colored in. One of the things I can do is starting to add my light. My key light is my main light source. My fill light goes just behind the shadows. And my rim light is that backlight behind the shadow side of my creature. So, I'm going to go ahead and put in my key light. Oh wow, it's super solid. That's okay. I'm going to change my blending mode. To soft light. And again, I apologize for my dog barking. I'm going to start to fill in that key light. Remember, I can make my brush bigger and smaller by using the bracket keys. And you can see already so much life is being brought to my work. So my fill light is going to go just inside where my shadow area is. Where kind of that reflected light near the core shadow. I'm going to name this, change this to, let's try vivid light. No. Overlay, no. Screen, no. darker color. We'll just leave it on normal. A fill light is a great way to define some areas without overly darkening them. Now, last but not least, you have your rim light. That is just a hint of a very opaque, linear light that's going to come from the back side. This is basically what you do to give your So I'm not going to finish this to completion for the rest of the video, but I will work on it a little bit longer just so you can see what the process looks like. But that really ends our tutorial. Uh, I The smoothing is exactly the same as it is in the value section. The only exception is you can pick some colors from your color picker swatches as you smooth. If you want to make a couple of things a little bit more vibrant, you're also going to want to mix your colors a little bit, so maybe your key lights aren't so and fill lights aren't so pure. And this is where you can go and very sparingly add a few pop whites, blacks, and colors. So if at this point, if I wanted to go take a black and make that eye nice and pure black, maybe add a little lashes, I could do that. If I wanted to add make the highlight in the eye super white, I can do that. If I want a really hot white highlight on that nose, this is the point where I can do that kind of thing. But again, you're going to want to use that as sparingly as possible. That is the end of the tutorial. Thank you, and I'll see you in class.